What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. It's episode number 72. We're starting today's episode off processing through to the Wolves game, where as you can see, after some fixture rescheduling, we got another game to squeeze in the month of December on New Year's Eve against the Hornets, and also the third round of the FA Cup. Our FA Cup was drawn, and we've got Lower League Morecambe away from home. So yeah, I certainly fancy our chance there of progressing through to the fourth round as we aim to retain the domestic cup double we won last season. We're into the Carabao Cup semi-finals, Manchester City in the final four, and our Lower League Morecambe in the first round. We enter in the FA Cup. So for the first game of today's episode here, coming away from home to take on Wolves at Molineux, obviously the side we're doing our FM reboot with. Facing Wolves away, decent season for Wolves so far right now, pushing for a Champions League place in the game. So facing them away from home, feeling so this could be a bit of a pressure situation, because recently, as we know, we have been in pretty poor form. We've lost our invincible season chance. Obviously, we've had a couple of bad results, a couple of slip-ups here and there as well. So taking on Wolves, Bruno Lage's side away from home at Molineux, wanting to make a fast start in this game on the back of the win against Manchester United in the Carabao Cup quarter-finals. And straight away, Reece Nelson probably should have made 1-0, but fluffed my lines going through 1-1. But Smith Rowe with the chip. I mean, this guy, like, seriously, I mentioned before, back in Season 1, I think Reece Nelson probably was our player of the season, but I'd say Smith Rowe was literally right behind him last year when Nelson gone down with the ACL. He was so good at picking up the slack, and this season as well, on course as things stand, over his highest scoring season in an Arsenal shirt, on fire. He made it 1-0, but sadly the lead would go in the first half. Alvaro Morata, the Spaniard, now at Wolves, making it 1-1 and firing in the leveller. We had a free kick in stoppage time, and with virtually the final kick of the game, we were so close to winning it as well. But free kicks for me in FIFA, you know, if you can believe this, and if you follow me for a long time, then you would know this. I used to be lights out from free kicks. Now, we're talking quite a while ago now, you know, the FIFA 11s, 12s, 13s, back when the game was a lot more arcade-like as opposed to simulation. I used to be great with free kicks, but now I'm lucky to score one a series, and sadly the wait goes on in this save. Harry Wilson denied by, to be fair, it was an amazing save right in the dying seconds there, clawing the ball off the line as the game finished 1-1. But yeah, free kicks for me. I used to be amazing at them, but since they've totally changed the way you do them, now I just find it so hard to score. And again, one per series is like as good as I can get right now. So 1-1 there against Wolves, and again, the poor run of form continues for Arsenal. Not a loss, but we're now starting to slip up in quite a lot of our games, and we're starting to let the chasing pack back into the title race. So for the second game of today's episode here, Manchester United back at the Emirates Stadium, back at North London, Nottingham, right. We just knocked them out of the Carabao Cup quarter-finals. You know they're going to be looking for revenge, but we need to get back to winning ways in the league, man. We've been really poor recently. So facing them here early on into the game, starting off in attack mode as I like to do, Emile Smith Rowe gets his second in 2 and his 10th of the season, as he's already reached double digits and makes it 1-0. And at 8 minutes before half-time, a chance to make it 2, which we would do. Bukayo Saka stepping in from the right, shooting with the left, finding the far corner and giving us a 2-goal lead to head into the dressing room. And I mentioned very recently as well, a couple episodes ago, you know, Saka, he might not get as many goals or assists as you'd probably expect a player of his ability at 90 overall to get. But again, as I mentioned before, this is primarily because our players ordinarily focus down the left-hand side with Reece Nelson or through the middle with Smith Rowe. Saka does not see a lot of the ball, but when he does, he's often getting the chances, creating them and taking them himself as well. So 2 was the final score. Nicolo Zaniolo, Roma legend, for those who watched my career mode last year, made it 2-1, got the Red Devils back in the game, but thankfully in the end proved to be nothing other than a consolation goal as we finally return to winning ways. And a great way to close out the first half of the campaign as well, you know, stuttering a little bit, allowing the chasing pack back into it, but we're still the league's highest scorers, still the league's best defenders, and we're still a few points off Spurs in second place. We have let them close the gap at one point. We had a chance to extend the gap on them to double digits, but recently they have started to play catch up. One of the reasons why is because the top 2 scorers in the Premier League are Spurs players, Kubo and Kane right now. The K's, the dynamic duo, looking really good at that part of North London. As for us, you've got Nelson and Smith Rowe leading the way in our top scorers, but really at the moment, it's a battle for North London, for a battle for the Premier League title. Yes, there are a few teams below Spurs who are still firmly in this title race. We're only halfway through the campaign. There is a long, long way to go. I mean, a whole other half of the season still left to play, literally. So yeah, there's a long way to go, but at the moment you would say the top 2 teams going for the title So crazy. After all the years of this save so far, it's been Liverpool and Manchester City in the first 5 seasons. But now, it's Arsenal and Spurs, the North London takeover. So yeah, really exciting title race so far. And whilst we do remain top, there is a long way to go. So for the third game of today's episode in what is again a crazy month of December, absolutely ridiculous how many games we've got to play. Liverpool right now coming a few days after our Christmas Day win over Manchester United, with Klopp's side coming to take us on here in North London. I mentioned before, Liverpool, we struggle against them so much. The two teams we struggled against the most in the save, both with Burnley and Arsenal, Liverpool and Manchester City. And again, it's not a surprise considering in the save they've been the best two teams in England and two of the best teams in the world. So in the first half, not too much to report, but Diogo Jota, former Wolves man, would give the Reds the lead right after the restart. I was thinking, for goodness sake, seriously. We have really struggled to find form in this month of December, and again, it's been a real test of squad depth and stamina and mental fatigue as well, so it's not a real surprise. But as we fell behind, I was like, I'm not prepared to lose this game. We had an unbeaten run ended by Aston Villa. We've only lost once so far in the league. I'm not having another loss so soon afterwards. So as soon as Jota got the goal, I was like, right from kickoff, get a chance, get a clear-cut opportunity, get a shot on target, and try and get a goal. Just exactly what we did. Reece Nelson with a lovely piece of skill to beat a couple of defenders and then a finish to match as well. Puts us back on level terms, and we almost won it right to death through the kid Marcel, along with the glorious hair, bending that shot just wide in what was a 1-1 draw. But again, another game where we failed to win in the Premier League in this month of December. I think we've had 2 wins. It's been a really tough month. And again, we knew it would be due to how many fixtures we had to play. We knew it was going to be challenging. But even so, another draw there. And again, as we continue to slip up, they don't seem like bad results against the big boys. But we're allowing Spurs and the other teams chasing a route back into this title race. So we need to find some consistency, find some form if we are to stay top of the table. So for New Year's Eve, final game of the calendar year, Watford away, Vicarage Road, the Hornets. And with no disrespect, I was thinking, right, this has got to be a game which is a banker, right? Surely this is going to be 3 points in the bag and a big statement victory here away in Hertfordshire. But no, doesn't work out that way in football sometimes. Fell behind after a very frustrating goal. Great save by Oblak, then the second shot blocked, but the third one turned in. We know how common rebound goals are in FIFA nowadays, both scoring and conceding, and we fall behind. So I thought, okay, just like against Liverpool, don't feel sorry for yourself, don't sulk, don't get frustrated and complain. No, just get back out there straight from kickoff and find the chance and find the goal to go back on level terms. Exactly what we did. Just like against Liverpool, bit of a carbon copy really. This time it was Luis Suarez cutting in from the left-hand side and the Colombians finding the back of net with a lovely bending effort into the far corner to make it 1-1. But late on in the game, in stoppage time, still tied at 1-1, I was thinking, here we go again, another slip up. And Spurs right now are licking their lips, thinking their North London rivals can't handle the pressure. Deep into stoppage time, one final chance. Oh, and I tell you, Reece Nelson might be our boy. We might love him to pieces. He might be the star of the show, but his right-hand man, well, they've both come back to the Emirates and they've both been just as good as each other. Emile Smith Rowe, bought back from West Brom for, I think it was £40 million or around that fee. What a bargain that has proved to be. Basically, the final kick of the game, steps in from the left and finds the bottom corner. Heartbreak for the Hornets, but a pressure relieving and much needed win for the Gunners. That keeps us 5 points clear of Spurs. It would have been 3 had we failed to find a winner, and because they've now got a better defensive record than us, and I believe a better goal difference record, if they were to win the following game and we were to fail to match their result, we'd drop to second. So at one point we had this almost unassailable lead at the top of the table. It's been cut due to our slip-ups, but what a big goal and a big win there against the Hornets, courtesy of Emile Smith-Rowe's late clutch finish. So yeah, 2 on the final score, and a look at our fixtures for January as we close out December, and the window has now opened. As you can see, a lot of big games coming once again. We've got the Blues away at Stamford Bridge. Leeds, you know, there was a tough game. Everton at Goodison Park. The Baggies at home. Both legs of our Carabao Cup semi-final against Manchester City. First one coming to the Etihad Stadium, and of course Morecambe in the FA Cup third round as well. So we just got through December. We're like, oh, let's have a breather, honestly. So many games to play there. Absolutely exhausted. Nope, we've got a load more coming in January as well. And if we get through the FA Cup third round against Morecambe, we'll have a fourth round tie to squeeze in as well. Yep, when you are competing on all 4 fronts, the fixture list is as full as it gets. So yeah, FA Cup third round, Morecambe away. We did pick a few starters for the game, but quite a few fringe players as well, as I need to rest some players of the Carabao Cup semi-final first leg on Wednesday night in mind. In the end, we only won by a goal to nil. Harvey Barnes with the only goal of the game. Not exactly convincing, as the the Gunners are still on course as things stand to pick up multiple trophies, but it's safe to say we're getting tired and we're starting to feel the pressure. But that was this episode of the Realistic CM, guys. We're thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, if you hadn't, please drop a like. So you'll have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of the Realistic CM very soon.